because you need a little bit of context to understand who's a criminal and who's not, right? Most immigration violations are considered civil offenses. Physical presence in the US without proper authorization is a civil offense. Overstaying a visa, again, a civil offense. Only entering unlawfully is a criminal offense, and there's a couple of different categories of this one. One thing is if you enter without turning yourself over for inspection. Remember I said you're supposed to go in and turn yourself in and say, I fear persecution. If you fail to do that, this is considered a misdemeanor. If you enter through fraudulent means, for example, if you fake a visa to get into the country, again, this is considered a misdemeanor. And only if you've been deported and then you try to enter again is it considered a felony. So now we get to the statistics I wanted to show you, where almost 3/4 of current detainees have no criminal conviction whatsoever. Of the remaining quarter, most of them have been convicted only of minor offenses, including, for example, traffic violations. So when you talk about the criminals, this is who people are talking about. We're not talking about rapists and murderers. We're talking about people who committed some traffic offense, like the DUI that Amy Latuma's husband had. And these statistics are coming actually directly from ICE. So this is the reality. Where are they being held? These are the different detention centers across New York, and jails. These are just regular local jails that are holding immigrants. Before the Trump administration, only 2 of these, the Clinton Correctional Facility and the Orange County Correctional Facility, were housing immigrants or people accused of immigration violations. But now we have all of these different jails doing that. The number of people detained has skyrocketed. In the first half of 2025, nearly 2,800 people were arrested and detained in New York for immigration reasons. And you compare that to the entire year of 2024, when only 500 people total were detained. So it's really just increased by a mind-blowing number. And they are now proposing a new detention center to be built in Chester, New York, using an old warehouse. And this is a national effort that they're doing to convert warehouses into detention centers, each of which could house from between 5,000 and 10,000 detainees. The jails on the previous screen. I actually don't know if all of them are public, or I don't know the breakdown. I can find out that information for you if you want. I don't know that breakdown either. No, that would be interesting to find out too. So that brings us to conditions in detention. So while this massive infusion of funds to ICE, as we all know from the big ugly bill, has led to many more detentions, at the same time, the oversight workers have been fired, or a lot of them have been fired because they're considered unnecessary. So what's happening is that there is actually very little oversight in these detention centers. And the detention centers are overcrowded, unsanitary, people can't get nutritious food, they can't get the medical help that they need. This has been a problem in the detention system anyway, but with the overcrowding, it becomes even worse. This particular graphic is showing you one ICE facility in upstate New York, where I don't know how well you can see the graphic, but the solid line in the middle represents the capacity of the detention center. They have 650 beds, and the jagged line represents the actual number of detainees being held there. So you can see there was a spike right here, that's January 2025, suddenly spiked up above capacity. Then there were some dips. It went very high over the summer, dipped down low, and then in September, when ICE was given another massive amount of money, it skyrocketed again. So they're well above capacity. Actually, sorry, can you go back for 1 second? I just want to point out this last thing. In 2025, 32 people total died in ICE custody. This is the highest number of deaths in custody since there were 18 in 2020. And as some of you may remember, we had a little thing called a pandemic going on in 2020.